Hello, I'm Wendy Burton, entrepreneur, author of the award-winning book Amy and the Angels, and host of the podcast Winging It with Wendy. Real people, real stories, and real angels. Do you ever feel like you're going through life and you're just winging it? We don't know what's coming, and we sometimes don't know how to deal with it. But I want you to know you are not doing it alone. We have what I like to call celestial BFFs that are actually walking this path with us at all times. Each episode, I will be sharing real-life exciting stories from my life and from you, the listener. I invite you to participate with an open mind and experience the magic of angels in your life. Welcome everybody to Winging It with Wendy. Real people, real stories, real angels. I am so delighted today because I have this amazing special guest. Sue Elliott, the angel coach, meets the angel lady. How cool is that? So, Sue, thank you so much for being here.
I'm delighted to be here. I can't wait to hear what our angels inspire.
Yes, I want to tell everybody a little bit about you because you are absolutely, when I was going through your bio and everything, was like, my goodness. So you describe yourself as someone who's lived a fairly normal life. But you've had a very accomplished professional career. For more than 30 years, you were a magazine editor, writer, publisher, marketer, entrepreneur. And what's really interesting is that creating automotive and chef-focused magazines. The men that listen to this are definitely going to be interested in this. I have a few friends in my life that are big into cars. You know who you are. And and then about 20 years ago, something really extraordinary started to happen to you. And so I can't wait to dive into all of that. But before I do, I want to share with our listeners how you and I came about. Is that okay?
Please.
Yes. Okay. So, as I was, getting into my podcasting world, I decided that I've got to start listening to other podcasts that are in, the genre of angels. Who all's out there? And I came across your podcast, The Angel Coach, and just listening to them, I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Like, wow, yeah, this is my girl. And then because I'm new to this, of course, very, very nervous that I decided I would sit down and write you a letter to see if I could get you to come on as a guest. And even though I was very new in the podcasting world, I thought, oh, maybe I should get like 10 under my belt first before I ask her. But then my angel said, no, write her. So I wrote you this letter and I waited patiently, didn't I? And then I think it was maybe about 2 weeks later, maybe not even, but my angels nudged me. And this is the importance, you guys. I want to say it again. You've got to listen to that voice. When your angels nudge you, listen to what they're telling you. Because it said, email her again, but do it from your Gmail account. So I sent Sue an email, said, I don't know if you've received these, but I thought I got a nudge from my angels. And literally, I think within 10 minutes, it was like, I'm so glad you listened to your angel nudge. And then you guys, we got on a call and we were on there for a while, but it was just like kismet. And I thank my angels and thank you so much for saying that you would come on and be a guest on my podcast. I'm delighted to have you here.
Thank you. And I love that you shared that story because that's how the angels work, right? Our guidance often looks like, call Bob. And we're like, why would I call Bob? And it's like, well, Bob has the answer to the question you were just wondering.
Yes.
Or he's looking to hire someone just like you right now. Or
yes,
we don't know why, but if we just do the little thing and trust, it always works out.
Exactly. So, Sue, what I'd like to, you've had this great career, and then it was about 20 years ago, can you share with our listeners exactly how you got into chatting with your angels?
Sure. Sure. So in this lifetime, I was on a spiritual journey pretty much my whole career. So I started working on magazines and I followed my interests. I started on business magazines, which back then was not my passion. Now it is. But and so I was really into cars from the time I was 3 years old. And I discovered, hey, if I'm going to read this thing 12 times before it goes to print, maybe I could like work on something that I'm really excited to read over and over again. So I started working on car enthusiast magazines. And about that time, well, maybe a couple years later, I discovered Marianne Williamson and the book A Return to Love.
Did too. Oh my goodness.
So
Yes.
at this point, yeah, this must have been 4 or 5 years into my automotive career. I was working at Peterson Publishing Company. So the founder of automotive publishing, right? They started Hot Rod Magazine and Motor Trend. And so I'm working on Chevy High Performance Magazine, like hardcore,
Wow.
hands-on, how-to
Wow.
magazine. And Marianne Williamson would speak every month at the Wilshire Theater right down the street. So 3 of us from the company would walk down the street to listen to Marianne. And so I was on this sort of parallel journey of personal transformation in my personal life, following my passions and my interests in my career. And then it was starting to be the end of my marriage, right? I was starting to ask, is this how it's supposed to be? And I had become very good friends with another woman automotive magazine editor. So there were only like 3 of us at the time. Actually, I was friends with both of them. But one of them started having these ladies' teas. She started for her birthday, and then every quarter we would meet at a little psychic fair and
Perfect.
have tea and hang out with the ladies and chat and maybe go get, a numerology reading or something. And so one of the ladies said something about, I can't afford whatever it was that she was talking about. And all I heard in my head was, tell her never to say that again.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to stop you right there just for 2 seconds. Did you guys hear that, people? Did you hear it? Never say, I can't afford it. You can say, what's a better way to say it?
That's not how I choose to spend my money.
That's not how I choose to spend my money. Perfect. Thank you. I just wanted to dial that in. That's so important. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
So, and I just got a huge wave of goosebumps because that is the difference between telling yourself. Now, they're not saying, a lot of spiritual teachers want to say that's the difference between lack consciousness and abundance consciousness. And we don't want to make it a big, sweeping, hairy deal, right? It's simply the power of the story you tell yourself. So when you tell yourself a story of, I can't afford that I really want, I can't afford that I really want, it feels sad. There's a part of you that's like, but I really want it.
Yes.
But when you tell yourself the story of, that's not how I'm choosing to spend my money, it's much more empowered. So they want us to really notice, like, how does it feel in your system when you say those words to yourself? And if it doesn't feel calm or peaceful or yummy, then just play with the words, right? It's so malleable. It can all be changed.
I love that. It's so yummy. I totally agree with that. Something that I always, and I know I've irritated my friends so much and my family over this one thing as well. When they say I can't afford that, I always just look at them and go, if you say so, if you say so.
And that's such a
And it
great
makes them
reminder.
go, oh yes, yes.
Yes. Yes. And of course, there are things like I can't go buy a super yacht tomorrow. I truly can't afford that. But when I look at that, I'm like, do I really want that? And so they wanted me to share a funny little story because
Yes, I'd love it.
being a car magazine editor for 20 some years and I used to be a spokesperson for the aftermarket. Like I was super into cars. People always ask me, what's your dream car? And my dream car was the Bentley Continental GT Coupe, which is,
Even I know what that is.
and if you don't know what it is, look it up. It's one of the most beautiful cars ever designed. It's just got the perfect profile, the Bentley Continental GT Coupe.
Yeah.
So that was my dream car. I don't know. It's like $250,000 for a car. It's all hand assembled. All the leather is hand stitched by one person, so it all matches. I mean, it's the most bespoke British luxury car. It's
Yes,
beautiful.
yes,
So of
yes.
course I had this belief that I can't afford that, right? Like not that I can't afford it, but just it was out of reach. It was not how I
Yes.
would choose to spend that large a sum of money. And then not long ago, I found one used for $50,000. And I was like,
No.
that's less than the Subaru I was looking at. I was like, hmm.
Yes.
I actually could
Yeah.
have my dream car. And so the angels are kind of laughing because I looked at myself and I'm like, could I drive a Bentley? Like I could make it fit in my garage. My garage is very big. I could make it fit.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I couldn't be that person. Like it just was too much of a stretch for how I see. And they're laughing because they're like, that's not it at all. It's just
Hmm.
that I don't feel the need for
Hmm.
something fancy every day. Right? It's
Yes.
fancy. It's
Oh, I
fancy.
love fancy. You
I
need to
love
know,
fancy
Sue. I
too.
love
I do.
fancy and
I
yummy.
love
You said
sparkly.
yummy.
I love
Yeah.
yummy. I love fancy. And I
Yeah.
live in rural Appalachia in, a town that
Yeah.
gets snow, so there's salt on the roads. And they're redoing all of the water lines in my town right now. So every road is torn up with gravel everywhere. And I was
Hmm.
like, you have to ask how much the tires on a Bentley cost. You probably don't want to be replacing them. So I was like, maybe it's just not the right time in my life for that car.
Right.
But I went through this whole like, who am I? Is there something wrong with me that I don't feel comfortable driving this? Do I need to work on like my personal belief systems? And at the end of the
Hmm.
day, I was like, no, it's just not the right car for here and now. It's okay. Like
And
nothing's
it
wrong.
doesn't mean that your angels aren't going to have that show up for you again. But it did let you know this is what you asked for. This is what you desired. And you put it out there. You said at the time you didn't have the money for it. So we'll make sure that it's, something that you can afford. And it's like, yeah, so we get to, that's the gift. We get to choose even when they bring stuff to us.
And they want to add, and that's so true. They want to add that they made it a no-brainer price-wise, right? Like
Hmm.
it was literally the same price as pretty much all the new vehicles I was looking at, from Hondas and Toyotas to Subaru and
Is
Lexus.
that car still available?
I don't know, but
Asking
I'll
for a
see.
friend. Asking for a friend.
It's one of the fun things that people like to do when they're playing with the money thing is, if we took money out of the equation, what would you get? What would you do? What would you choose? And so they literally did that for me. They took money out of the equation. Everything cost about the same amount of money. Which would I choose? And so that was really fun too. And they want to add that that's a fun game to play with for yourself. If you're
It
looking at
is.
something and the money is getting all wobbly and wonky in your space, just take money out of the equation and see, if I had
Hmm.
all the money in the world, if I had all more money that I could spend in this lifetime, like however you want to broach it for yourself, just play.
I love that. And you're so similar, Sue, in so many ways. I remember, again, a lifetime ago when I first started connecting with my angels, the guy I was dating with at the time, I was sharing with him that I wanted a Jaguar XK8 convertible.
They're so beautiful.
And he was like, "You're practically on welfare. How the heck are you going to get this car?" And I was like, "Well, that's not up to me. It's up to my angels," which irritated him to absolutely no end. And I said, "I'm going to have this car before my 40th birthday." And he goes, "Well, how do you plan on getting it?" I don't know. Again, that's my angel's decision. And it was 6 months before my 40th birthday. I went in and paid cash. It was when I was living in Scottsdale, Arizona, for a Jaguar XK8 convertible. I wish I wasn't tethered to this machine right now in my earpiece, because just over here, I have a little mini model of my car. And it was the silver black top. And I'm telling you, when I drove away in that car, I felt like, just like, yes, I knew this. I knew it like I knew it like I knew it. This is something that I get asked a lot. So I'd be curious to know what your answer is. What's the difference between our own thoughts and the guidance from our angels? Like, how do you know it's just not like me talking? And
Right.
you know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
it's the way it feels, right? So we all have a whole peanut gallery in our heads, right? We've got the
Hmm.
mom voice, maybe the mean mom voice, maybe even meaner than your mom ever was. We've got the mean teacher, maybe there was, a nun in Catholic school or whatever. Like we've got this whole array of critical voices, and we've probably got a whole array of cheerleader voices, and we've got, the Eeyore doom and gloom voice and all those things. There's all those different. And that's not how divine guidance feels, right? The angels' messages, in my experience, have two flavors. The most prevalent is we call it of courseness. It's
Okay.
totally neutral. It doesn't feel
Yes.
positive. It doesn't feel negative. It doesn't feel any of those things critical, but for sure. I mean, the angels never feel critical in our space.
Hmm.
And when I hear that, it feels neutral and it feels like truth with a capital T. And it's usually so, oh, of course, that my inner
Hmm.
8-year-old is like, duh, I knew that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or sometimes she doesn't know ahead of time, but it connects the dots in such a clear way that it's like, oh, of course that's the next step.
Yeah.
That's totally, so it
Yeah.
feels harmonious in my system, right? It doesn't trigger.
Hmm.
Once my
It's not a
mind gets a
negative
hold,
thought.
right?
Yeah, it's not a negative thought. And I think the other thing, um, that I'm not sure if it was before we started recording, but when you said, go call Bob, you
Right.
know, and it's one of those things that pops into your head, like, where did that come from?
Yes.
Where
And
did
it
that
doesn't
come
feel
from?
positive and it doesn't feel negative.
It's
So
just
it's very
guidance.
neutral. It just is guidance. So it
Yes.
and in your system, right? It won't trigger trauma. It'll feel very just gentle in your
Hmm.
nervous system.
Yeah.
And your mind can kick in after that, right? But that instantaneous sense of what it is how you can feel the truth of it, the onness or the offness, right? And divine guidance always feels like, oh, right. The other way that guidance comes in feels more energizing. So I call it, the angels calling you forward or feeling your way forward. So sometimes they're like, look over here. And then you feel a little pop of energy or curiosity or eagerness. And then so you explore a little more and you feel a little more energy. And then after a while, you're like, ugh. And you're like, okay, you're done with that. So sometimes it's the angels calling you forward, guiding you to move in a certain direction, to explore something, to ask a question and learn more about something, to watch a couple YouTube videos, right? Whatever it may be. And then when you lose that energy and enthusiasm for it and it starts to feel heavy or you start to contract, right? That's okay, we're done with that for the moment.
Hmm. Yeah. I am constantly surprised and elated that I'll think of something and I know it's my own thought. And then all of a sudden I'll pick up my phone. And it was just like the other day. I went golfing a couple of times this weekend with my kids, and I am so running low on golf balls. And I'd like to thank my grandson Carter for that. And Nanny, do you have another golf ball? And I was like, I need to get some golf balls. I turn on the radio and here's like JR Country that I'm listening to saying, hey, by the way, if you go to our website, there's golf balls. They've been played by professionals, but they can only use them once and they're super cheap. And I was like, that is so crazy,
That's
right?
so you just said surprised and elated, and I wanted to share surprise and delight me is actually the 7th chapter in our new book. And because the angels love to surprise and delight us.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And I'm so glad you brought that up. You guys. So can you, Sue, show everybody the cover?
Yes.
It's called My Angel Coach. I didn't get the book quick enough. Sue and I were so quick at saying, let's get on this podcast. Let's do it together that I wasn't able to get it yet. And so I wanted to show you. But I went through, I do have the PDF. I do admit I have that. And I went through, there was some wonderful, wonderful, comments. And there was one of the things, um, original factory setting. That one, I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot wait to read what that one is.
Oh,
But
yay.
surprise and delight is lovely. And what do you mean by original factory setting? It was like, I love this because we don't come with a manual. And so funny you being in the automotive magazine. I was like, of course she's going to call it original factory setting. Okay. Would
Yes.
you share that with us?
Sure. So it does come from all those years of being a car magazine editor. And so cars for many, many years now have been computer controlled. So if you want to make your car perform better, your car or your truck, you are going to have to do a little adjustment to the original factory settings. You're going to have to do some computer reprogramming. And you can buy programs that you can just upload into your car's computer and it'll change the settings to be different from the original factory settings, which can be very fun for a car or truck, but not so much for people. So for us, the difference from our original factory settings tends to be what the angels and I call it gunk. It's the limiting beliefs, right? So limiting beliefs, subconscious programming, rules we made for ourselves when we were 3 years old that made perfect sense to a 3-year-old that are getting in the way now. So it's all that stuff, right? The ways we've been shamed, the traumas we've experienced, like all that stuff is not your original factory settings. So they're asking me to show you the picture actually
Good.
because this
So
picture,
your
it's one.
angels are on the same page because I was just like, can you hold it up?
Yes, one of my favorite, oh, there we go. One of my favorite pictures in the whole book. So every chapter starts with,
Got to move it over just a little to the other way. Yes, dear. Yes, the little, oh, the child in the
yes,
snow.
I just love that precious picture because that's our original factory settings. We're
Yeah.
present, we're always learning, we're curious,
Playful.
we're, everything is interesting, everything
Hmm.
is fresh and new, and life is calling us forward in the most delicious and delightful ways. Bugs are interesting, flowers are interesting, every animal is interesting, right? We're not afraid of snakes, we're not afraid of spiders, we're not afraid of heights. We're simply showing up as the truth of who we are, the way we were created by the divine. And so the angels through this book would love to restore people to their original factory settings. And of course, you don't need the book. You can ask the angels to do it for you. But the book, I like to think the book is fun.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, we will be putting the link to Sue's website, to her book, where you'll be able to go directly to her website to be able to purchase it. And I just love it. I went through the PDF and I love that it's in color. And I know so many of the books that we get aren't, but it's also one of those books too that I realized just as I was going through, you could just open it and what's the message today? I do that all the time, right? Just, I'll open a book. This is what the angels want me to know today. So I'm really, really thrilled that they have the opportunity to visit you. And so, Sue, the other thing that I want to ask is throughout my life, I have had all of these so cool angel experiences. What is one of your like crazy, awesome, wonderful angel experiences that you had?
Well, okay. The angels are pointing me toward telling you about when I was single. So, quite a few years ago, I had gotten unmarried and I was having trouble figuring out who to date, right? And oh, right, like figuring it out. So I was
Yeah.
trying to do it as a mental process. I was trying to figure it out. I was making my law of attraction lists of things I want and things I don't want.
Hmm.
And the angels were nudging me toward just like relaxing to the journey. And I,
Is that like, because we can be in our head,
right.
right? We can be
So
in our head
I was very much in my,
so much.
so much.
So, yeah.
And a recovering intellectual, right? I went to an Ivy League school. I graduated Phi Beta Kappa. I was all about like
A
being smart.
recovering intellectual. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I'm writing. That's awesome. I'm writing that one down. I can
So
relate.
So I was definitely, I mean, I could start Overthinkers Anonymous, right? So here I am, I'm trying to think my way into a relationship, which is not a thinking journey.
I
And
feel your pain.
the angels are trying to nudge me into living more from my guidance, not thinking about everything. And meanwhile, I ask them to do what I call turning up the obvious knob. So I think of like a stereo knob and I'm like, just turn it up to 11. I need it as obvious as you can possibly make it. So they did because they love us and the angels are amazing like that. Talk about
I love that because it's one of those things that Oprah said. She repeats it when she hears it. Turning up the obvious knob. That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
So this is how obvious they made it. And thank you. I am standing in a room. I'm actually at a trade show and I'm talking to one of my longtime colleagues and I turn around and the entire room is black and white except one man is color. Okay, now that is obvious enough. I'm going to go talk to that guy.
Yes. Yes. That is lovely. And who was this guy?
Oh, he was definitely like the next step on the journey. So, they want to go there with relationships too. So, this was while I was still very much in my law of attraction space, right? And one of the things that started to feel off to me about law of attraction practices and processes, and I created a magazine called Law of Attraction that was sold on newsstands nationwide and in other
Yes,
countries.
you did, didn't you?
And so I was very much all about this, but the problem with the law of attraction stuff and the way most people seem to practice it is it's very much like placing your order with the divine, like it's a cosmic restaurant, right? I would please deliver my ideal partner for a relationship on Thursday at 4 o'clock, and I would like this, and this with a dollop of that on the side, right? Like I want all of these things. Here's my list, ready, go. And the thing that the angels kept giggling about, because they love us so much, they're not laughing at us, they're not mocking us. However, they said, you're probably not going to be ready for that relationship at 4 o'clock on Thursday. You're on a journey of evolving and becoming. You're evolving into readiness for that. So this person, the one who was in color, was definitely part of the evolution into the relationship I'm in now. There have probably been, 15 relationships in between because there's a journey of, coming back into the body for some of us, of finding our voice again, of becoming very clear that things that we thought we wanted are not really what we want.
I agree with what you're saying there because we're not always ready in the moment, but the more we get out there and date and try things, the more sometimes we realize what we don't want. And we're getting clearer with our angels. Thank you for that one. But yeah, I'm pretty sure now I forgot to mention I'm not fussy over that or this, right?
Or this is what mom told me I should want, or what
Yes, that's probably
everybody
better.
in the romantic comedies wants, or
Yes.
it's not that we're wrong. We're exploring. We're getting more clarity. And we're letting go of the gunk in ourselves, right? We're doing our own personal transformation along the way. We're not sitting still.
Right.
So who we're a match to today may not be the same person we're a match to in 3 months or 3 years. And so the angels would love to dissolve some of that programming that says any ended relationship is a failed relationship. Because
Yeah.
it doesn't have to have that judgment. It doesn't have to have that trauma around it.
Yeah. So I know that I have a lot of single friends out there. And so what would be the guidance or the message that we should give to our angels for those of us who are looking for love and would like to find, even though we call them our forever person, I know sometimes they're not always forever. They're just forever in the moment.
Yes.
So what would be your advice to them with regard to that?
That's such a great question.
You are the angel coach, so I'm open to the coaching.
This is my thing. So the angels want to start with what we call the angel delegation statement. So rather than praying or even traditionally asking or begging or pleading, as we sometimes get into, they're encouraging us to say, thank you, angels, for taking care of and fill in the blank. So thank you, angels, for taking care of bringing my ideal partner. Thank you, angels, for taking care of getting me ready, helping me get ready. It doesn't have to be taken care of, right? Thank you, angels, for helping me see that I am evolving and becoming ready for this relationship. Thank you, angels, for helping me find the gifts in every date I go on, right? Because every time there is a gift, and sometimes the gift is I am so clear that that is not what I want, and this one little thing, right? And it's always an exchange. We've given something to the other person. They want us to know that everything is always, every date has some magic for each person. Sometimes it's the story that's just funny later. But for the most part, there's clarity, there's self-seeing, there's self-understanding, and that's, they want to go there. So one of the most valuable things we can do as we're readying ourselves for this amazing relationship that is happening, right? Everything is now. So that relationship is now. We just aren't at that point of now on.
Yes.
So as we let go of the gunk, right? So as we let the angels dissolve the subconscious programming that may tell us a lot of things of how men or women are supposed to be, that may tell us whether we're allowed to speak up. Oh, the angels want to say almost, yeah, okay, quite literally every family of origin we've come across so far has at least one emotion that is forbidden. And so part of the journey is being gentle with yourself and beginning to allow yourself to express all the emotions, right? So if you weren't allowed to be sad, you may have.
Or you weren't allowed to cry.
Right, big boys, big girls don't cry.
Yeah,
or
I
I'll
got
give
that
you
one.
something to cry about.
Oh
right?
my goodness, I got that one.
Yeah.
I have a hard time crying now. It's like,
right.
nope,
So
not
here
gonna
we
happen.
go. So that was for you. Yay. So they're encouraging you because you probably have a lot of stuck sadness in your system. Watch some tearjerker movies, listen to music that makes you cry, like whatever helps you get it out. They're not saying go to talk therapy. I mean, if you feel inspired, by all means, but for the most part, this can be very non-cognitive. In fact, this part of the journey is perhaps better as a non-cognitive experience of just releasing stuck stuff. So stuck emotions, stuck trauma, especially if there's any trauma related to the body. So there are all kinds of non-cognitive trauma therapies, traumatic.
What does that mean, non-cognitive therapy? What is
It's not
that?
about thinking about it. It's not about understanding it. It's not about discussing it. So as opposed to talk therapy, the exact opposite of talk therapy, where you're going to remember that, abusive experience that you had.
Exactly. Okay.
And you're going to reactivate it in your system. The non-cognitive trauma therapies help the body finish the release of the trauma.
The release. Okay.
So we have all these traumas that happened, often the ones that happened when we were little, and they don't have to be a big, hairy deal. The angels want to say there's no order of magnitude with trauma in your system. It is trauma or it's not trauma. So it doesn't matter if it was an earthquake that killed 10,000 people or you went to mom upset about something and she screamed at you to get out of her face. Like it has the
trauma
same
is trauma.
in your
Okay.
nervous system. So the more that you can allow your nervous system to complete whatever didn't get completed. So that can be, there are therapists who specialize in helping you get out that fleeing, right? If you went into fight or flight and you wanted to flee, but somebody held you and you couldn't, they can help you release that. There are other forms of like EMDR, which is an eye movement exercise that helps to release stuff. There's traumatic releasing exercise that helps the body sort of shake and do that thing that animals do to release trauma from their system.
Right.
Super effective. So all of these things, the more that we can get that really challenging stuff out of our systems before we have the relationship, the less the relationship is going to call up that stuff in order for us to release it. Now, the relationship is going to bring up our stuff. That's the beauty of an intimate relationship.
Yeah. It does, doesn't it? Okay, ma'am. This could be a whole new episode. Maybe it would be part 2 on relationship and how to heal your childhood wounds. So if there's one thing that you would like to leave our listeners with today, just a little nugget of yours with something that you share with your clients, or even if it's in the book, because you guys have to get this book. It is magical. Please, we will make sure that it's below. Barry's really good. He puts everything below here, apparently. Somewhere online, it's below.
All right. So maybe the angels have something they'd like to share. Let's give them a space. Okay, so the angels want you to know, wherever you are on your journey, whatever you have done or didn't do, whatever you said or didn't say, there is nothing that would ever stop them from loving you. They love you so much. Their love is unconditional. It's divine, unconditional love. It is endless. And more, they would love for you to allow them to help. They're with you always. They never leave you. There's nothing you can do to make them leave. They're laughing, so get over it, they say. They're always with you. They're always lovingly supporting you. And the more you delegate to them, thank you, angels, for taking care of, the more they can do, the more they can surprise and delight you. You don't even have to know what to ask for. You can just say, angels, surprise and delight me today. And your life will become more and more magical.
Absolutely perfect. Perfect. Well, I will have to say you delighted us today. So thank you so much, Sue, for being here. I genuinely appreciate it. And to all of our listeners and viewers, thank you for tuning in to episode 5, I believe this is. And please subscribe. It is free to subscribe. Subscribe to Sue's page. Subscribe to Winging It with Wendy. Go to wendysburton.com. All the episodes will be on there. We'll make sure that everything you need, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Amazon links, everything that you need is there. Thank you so much for tuning in to Winging It with Wendy, real people, real stories, and real angels. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. Guess what? I have to add this. This is the last little bit. Is by the time you're listening to this podcast, the audiobook for Amy and the Angels will be out. So make sure you check that out on the website as well. Okay. Sue, hold up your book one more time before we say goodbye. There we go. The Angel Coach. You guys heard it here first. Second or 100th. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, people.